Welcome to No Flavor Town. Small businesses say Denver's flavored tobacco ban is wiping them out.
We're not sure that we're going to be able to stay open. The future is kind of up in the air right now.
The Homeland Security Secretary, who falsely smeared 2 dead Americans, devastating their families here in Colorado, is now out of the job. Coloradans are skipping the Air Traffic Controller Academy and going straight to work. Hold up, is that safe?
As soon as I graduate, hopefully I can go directly into a facility and start training and controlling traffic.
And if you don't like getting your picture taken, don't speed in Denver. The city is installing permanent speed radar cameras. That's tonight on Next. There are small business owners in Denver who tell us the voter-approved ban on flavored tobacco is crushing them. The city says there's no hard date on that. Our Spencer Soysher is the pesky sort, so he went looking anyway.
Denver vape shop owners got absolutely smoked in the November election.
What percentage of your product do you think has been taken off the shelf?
60, 70%.
Kristen Hensel says sales at Denver-based Rusty's Vape Shop are down 70%. Perhaps, ironically, the same percentage of Denver voters who upheld the city's ban on flavored tobacco.
We were a thriving, successful business. Now we are very concerned about our future.
Very soon after the flavor ban went into effect, obviously our revenue, as well as other shops, just completely tanked.
Mike Wing just sold all 4 of his King's Smoke shops, all in Denver.
It was no longer viable, and instead of bankruptcy, we sold out for pennies on the dollar.
Hensel has 2 locations, one in Denver and one in Commerce City, where there's no ban.
Did this used to be your more profitable store?
Absolutely.
Not anymore?
No, definitely not. Everyone that comes in here, we just tell them, you can go to a neighboring county, but Denver has banned it. And so they say, oh, okay, and they go to another county, or they go online.
Vape shop owners argued pre- and now post-election that this ban would not stop teen vaping. People would buy their products from stores right outside the city, and businesses would leave. So we tried to fact-check it. Since January 1st, Denver has 3 fewer tobacco licenses. Nearby Aurora netted 1 additional store. Arvada, net 0. And both Lakewood and Englewood told us they haven't seen an influx of new spots either.
I mean, the majority of our business is to help people quit smoking cigarettes, right?
The shops feel voters were deceived, and their businesses are quickly going up in smoke.
We're not sure that we're going to be able to continue employing people the way that we were. We're not sure that we're going to be able to stay open.
We also tried to determine how bad it really is for the shops by looking at changes in sales tax revenue. But cities around here, including Denver, track tax revenue by industry and business sectors, not by product categories. So there's no vape shop category. And if a gas station sold tobacco, for example, the tax from fuel sales would be in there as well and would completely skew this whole thing, Kyle.
Do we know, Spencer, how many of these shops have decided, screw it, I'm just going to sell the stuff anyway?
No, we know the number of licenses that still exist, but it's also really new, right? This happened in January, and you get a year on your license for each time. So we don't know yet how many maybe are getting rid of their store, or getting rid of what their plans are, but their license is still intact.
All right, Spencer Soysher, thank you. The families of Renee Good and Alex Preddy watched here from Colorado as Homeland Security Secretary Noem falsely smeared their dead loved ones as domestic terrorists. Today, those same families watch Noem lose her job. Noem didn't get canned for her false claims about the Americans killed by federal immigration agents. She got bounced by President Trump today after she pawned off questions about her spending of taxpayer money on the president himself. Democrats and Republicans questioned Noem about that issue when she appeared before Congress this week. There, she refused to apologize for calling Preddy and Good domestic terrorists. She also faced questions from lawmakers, including Colorado Democrat Joe Neguse, over the $200 million self-promotional TV ad campaign she ran, and whether those dollars were inappropriately funneled to Republican political firms with ties to her.
Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. This company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
That's a tough last day at work. Noem told members of Congress under oath that President Trump was aware of those TV ad contracts beforehand and signed off. Well, Trump told Reuters today that wasn't true, and he announced Noem's firing shortly after. Trump quickly named Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma as his new pick to lead Homeland Security. Mullin has also trafficked in false smears about Alex Preddy, and he said that Renee Good was responsible for her own death. Denver Public Schools is considering further restrictions on federal immigration agents interacting with students and staff. The district already bans ICE agents inside schools. This policy would go farther to designate all district properties as quote-unquote sensitive locations and forbid ICE access to a school property without a warrant. It would also ban school resource officers from sharing information with federal agents or issuing citations or making arrests that could put a student at risk of deportation. And this policy would require the district provide resources and support to employees with DACA status if the federal government gets rid of that program. The school board is hearing from the public on this issue right now. We don't expect a vote on the policy until their next meeting in 2 weeks. Senate Democrats have a plan to bring down beef prices in America, and it could force big changes at the JBS plant in Greeley, headquarters of the world's largest meatpacking company. JBS employs more than 3,800 workers in Weld County. Senate Democrats blame companies like JBS for monopolizing the beef market and driving up grocery store prices. Today, they released a proposal that would make it illegal for a major meat packer to process more than one type of meat. It would require some major meat packers to spin off operations and require the federal government to look into the foreign ownership of meat companies. JBS is a multinational company with ownership in Brazil. The bill obviously has opposition from the beef industry. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association says it would reduce processing capacity for the industry. America needs air traffic controllers. A community college in Colorado is cranking them out as fast as they can. Our Mark Salinger has that.
1 Academy Tower, Rooney 4906, turn left heading 250, runway 4915, Academy Tower, runway 28.
Miles away from the closest airport.
Turn right, taxiway, or enter left downwind, runway 28 left.
The students in this room are part of a solution to a national problem.
Yeah, as soon as I graduate, hopefully I can go directly into a facility and start training and controlling traffic.
Aiden Rowe will soon be the first person at Ames Community College to graduate from the school's Enhanced Air Traffic Collegiate Training Initiative.
6, runway 16, cleared for takeoff.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy named Ames one of only 11 schools around the country this week that can fast-track graduates directly from the classroom to the job, bypassing the FAA's training academy in Oklahoma.
Enjoyed is an understatement. They are fun beyond measure. Like, it is one constant mind puzzle that you have to solve, and everything is changing a little bit always.
There is an extreme shortage, I would say, of air traffic controllers right now, and the idea is to make more pathways to train air traffic controllers.
Patty Phillips was an air traffic controller for 30 years and now leads the program at Ames.
We want to make sure that the coming in exceeds the going out rate.
The U.S. is short nearly 4,000 air traffic controllers. Here in Colorado, we're short dozens. For years, the only path to becoming a controller was to go through the FAA Training Academy in Oklahoma City. But limited spots make the wait long, making the shortage worse.
It could be a delay from graduation up to 2 to 3 years before you got a chance to have a training slot at Oklahoma City.
Runway 28 right, 542, runway 28 left, Papa Charlie, turn right, taxiway, Charlie.
Now students like Aiden can go straight from the simulation
Papa Charlie, Academy Tower,
to training on the job.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
So my biggest question was, are students missing out on anything by bypassing the FAA Academy? I'm told the curriculum is the same and they still train for weeks once they actually get to their full-time job. But opening up that pathway, getting more people through this quicker is crucial, Kyle, at ending the shortage.
So if you know anybody these days who is in a dying business and looking for a more secure career path,
may I recommend air traffic control, because you only need, it's a 2-year program, then you go out and starting salaries like 80 to 100,000, that's pretty good. Plus, if they're looking for 4,000 air traffic controllers, talk about job security.
Right? We could still work together. Awesome. All right, Mark Salinger, thank you very much. Is Tina Peters willing to fake remorse to get out of prison? Because it looks like that's what it's going to take. Governor Polis here yesterday listed off why he is inclined to give Peters clemency if she will show contrition and apologize for her actions, like everyone else whose sentence the governor has ever commuted. I pressed him on it, and he said that remorse and accountability must happen for Peters to receive clemency. Tina Peters has been remarkably consistent that she is not at all remorseful for leading a breach of Colorado's voting systems in search of fraud. She does take responsibility for her actions, as in she doesn't deny what she did. She's proud of it. She's embraced her status as a martyr of the stolen elections crowd. And the first rule of Martyr Club is you gotta see it through to the end. No real martyr gives up and says, you know what, I was wrong, didn't mean any of that. Sorry for the trouble, guys. I'll be on my way now. There are plenty of people who pretend to believe all that stolen election stuff for power, for profit, for politics. There is even some evidence that President Trump and his inner circle don't actually believe it. Tina Peters believes it. While others have lined their pockets off stolen election claims, Peters went to prison. I don't think she'll fake remorse to get out. But if she did, right? Maybe in just one letter to the governor asking for clemency, would Governor Polis really be willing to pretend that Tina Peters means it and turn her loose? Yeah, absolutely he would. Because it seems that the governor is not just willing to grant clemency to Tina Peters, he is eager to do it. Except he's now insisting that she first show contrition and apologize for her crimes. The bad news for Governor Polis is, I don't think Tina Peters is willing to fake remorse to get out of prison.
We cannot fix 30 years of imbalance overnight, but we have to start taking responsible steps now.
Colorado's teachers say the state's taxpayer Bill of Rights is kneecapping school funding, so they're going to go to the ballot and try to kneecap Tabor. Denver has been losing the battle against traffic deaths. The city now says speed cameras could be part of the solution. That's next. You know what I like about you, meteorologist Chris Bianchi? You don't pretend to be one of those all-knowing, omniscient weather wizards that's like, it's going to snow exactly 2.3 inches, book it. No, you use like math and science combined to tell us what the chances are that it's going to snow tomorrow.
Yeah, Kyle, I'll say this, predicting the future for a living, it is a humbling enterprise. I'll just leave it at that. And for tomorrow, here's the best way to look at it. Here in Denver, 1 to 3 inches, that's the most likely scenario. I would lean slightly more towards a boom scenario tomorrow. If it can really snow heavily for 2-3 hours, it comes before dawn, we may end up with 4 inches in Denver, but there's also a chance that we end up with less than an inch of snow. Most likely scenario, 1 to 3 inches of snow here in Denver. That snow will start up before dawn tomorrow in the metro area. In the mountains, it's already starting to snow. That snow will continue to fill on in as we head over the next few hours. That snow in Denver will be heaviest between about 7 and 10 a.m. tomorrow. So that means the morning commute, yes, 1 to 3 inches of snow. You might be going, oh, that's it? Well, the snow's done really by noon for us in Denver, at least the accumulating stuff. But here in town, watch this as we get to about 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow. It's going to be snowing pretty heavily for us in Denver. There's even the possibility for some thunder snow, some brief blizzard-like conditions. So the heaviest snow during that morning commute, again, you might be going only 1 to 3 inches, whoop-de-doo. Again, that snow is going to basically all come down during the morning commute. So just expect a few slick spots, especially above 6,000 feet. I'm looking at you in Castle Rock, Morrison, Conifer, Golden. That's where you're going to have that steadiest snow. That snow will wind down tomorrow evening. But again, I think the accumulating snow done by about noon, 1 to 3 inches in Denver. You get in the foothills, 4 to 8 inches plus. And you get in the mountains, we could be talking about a footer there in the high country. 7-day forecast. A warm up for us this weekend and to next week. And don't forget, those clocks move forward for us on Sunday morning.
The city of Denver is finalizing plans to install automated speed cameras on some high traffic routes through the city because it's been a terrible year for traffic fatalities. The number in 2025 is a big kick in the pants for Denver's Vision Zero program, which had sought to totally eliminate traffic deaths by 2030.
Year was devastating in regards to last year, in regards to fatalities on our roadways. We had 93 fatalities, people who died in Denver on the roadways, whether they were pedestrians, people who were driving, scooter riders, people who were on the interstate, people on our local streets. 93 people.
The city says it's hard to pin the increase in fatal crashes on just one factor. They have seen an increase in scooter-related crashes and in pedestrian deaths on the interstate in recent months. They say one of the biggest factors is clearly speed. The city and Denver police estimate that speed played a role in nearly a quarter of fatal crashes last year. So this year they plan to crack down on speeding in some crash-prone areas of the city by installing automated speed cameras on sections of Federal and Alameda. The rules for the automated speed camera program have to go through City Council first. They're hoping to get that ordinance before City Council in the next month. Democrats at the state capitol say the key to fixing school funding is simple. They just need more of your money, and they're going to have to ask your permission first. Hey, a reminder, you have permission to watch Next streaming each weeknight, 6 p.m. on 9 News Plus, and Next is a podcast for your ears. Democrats at the state capitol want schools to be exempt from the state's cap on tax revenue collection. They blame the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, TABOR, for years of shortages in education funding. Today, Democratic legislators and the state teachers union announced legislation that would send an issue to voters on the ballot to free schools from the TABOR cap on tax revenue, allowing the state to keep more of your money that is already collecting rather than having to return it to you in the form of a refund. Colorado's school funding formula is very complex. It's undergone major changes in recent years to ensure that schools are fully funded, even as the budget tightens. But the bill's sponsors say those changes are not enough, that the quote-unquote outdated revenue cap is creating structural budget problems for schools.
For years, we've seen temporary fixes and short-term adjustments to school funding. While there have been important gains, we still haven't solved the underlying structural problems. Coloradans deserve a say in whether to modernize the 1992 revenue cap that no longer reflects the needs of our growing state.
Bill's certain to face opposition from Republicans at the state capitol who say that what the state needs to do is just spend less money rather than keeping more tax money. If the bill passes, then voters would have to approve the changes come November. Union members in the Sheridan School District in Arapahoe County have voted overwhelmingly to authorize a strike. They say the districts refused to reinstate their union's contract. The Sheridan Educators Association is made up of all types of district employees, teachers, custodial staff, bus drivers. The union said they had a collective bargaining agreement in place for more than 50 years, but district leaders are refusing to reinstate it. The district says it's made multiple attempts to work with the union towards solutions, and the district says it is ready for the disruption of a strike. 98% of the union voted in favor of the strike. No date is set yet. Date set for your feedback. It's right after the commercial break, just as soon as Marilyn hands it over. Oh, did you see that, everybody? She got me. We're going to talk about that later.
Okay.
John texts, how come Kyle is not fan-base friendly, never reads texts, be more personable? What are you talking about, John? I'm reading your text right now. I read text almost every night. As for the more personable thing, that's not me. It's a character flaw. Text says, I wonder if you're feeling okay. You look pale tonight. Maybe it's the shirt or my TV. Or maybe it's the fact that I just don't get a whole lot of sun this time of year. Our producer Mallory says, I'm a winter white. This from Jennifer in email, hot off the press, going to read it off the phone, says, Kyle, I hope you're right that Tina Peters won't be able to fake contrition to get out of prison, but her track record is one of somebody very comfortable with stating untruths. I would be cautious with that with Tina Peters. I've covered her for years, and I think a lot of the very untrue things she says, she believes. See you next time.